Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dragons and goblins and gentle thems and everything else in between. How are you this morning? I am fabulous. Now, I wasn't necessarily fabulous 10 minutes ago. I was on the Beltway that wraps around Columbus, Ohio. For those of you who don't know, I do not like cities at all. At all. It is not my jam. I don't like being in them. I don't like driving through them. I don't like visiting them. Ow. Yes, the shoulder is still a thing. And so, the Beltway routes you around it. Well, because I got confusing directions for a minute or two. It said, stay left. Now, really heavy traffic, really heavy 6-lane traffic, right? So the directions are saying, stay left to merge onto I-71 North. I'm right. Okay, stay left, stay left, stay left. And then at the last freaking minute, she says, use the right 2 lanes. I'm like, you've been spending the past 5 minutes telling me to stay. So, obviously in 6-lane traffic and city people who are always angry about something, it seems. Of course, if I lived in a city, I'd be angry about something all the time too. Anyway, there's no way I'm gonna, slam the brakes on, especially not carrying an additional 22 and a half feet behind me. Okay, fine. So I just missed my exit, and then, does the whole rerouting thing. I always wish that I could do, like, some company would be, like, really with it, right? And would hire people to do voices for GPS, because they're so polite that they're freaking boring. It would have been funny in a moment like that, when I missed my exit, for some snappy little voice to go, I fucking told you to take the right. And which I could have responded, no, you fucking told me to stay left for 5 minutes and then changed your mind at the last minute. Are you menopausal? We can talk. I get it. I'm okay. We can talk about that. Anyway, I just think it would be fun, right? Especially when you pull a couple of boners within a few miles of one another, and she goes, rerouting. It would be fun to have a GPS say, how many more goddamn times are we going to do this before you get it right? I don't know. Bella, get up on your seat. Hold on. Doggy misbehavior going on here. Bella, get up on your seat. Hey, get up here. Get up here. That's unusual. She usually just kind of stays put. Anyway, so now, when you're going on a beltway and you don't get off the appropriate exit. For those of you who don't know, then it has no choice but to route you off of the interstate and down into the city so that you can make the appropriate change. And so now I'm dragging my 20-foot long truck and my 22.5-foot long trailer down through the narrow streets of this city. I was like, okay, fine. And it finally routes me onto, where I'm going to get back onto the appropriate exit. And as I'm slowly, carefully merging left so that I can get on that ramp, I hear this motor before I see it. And I look in my side mirror, and I had already put my blinker on to start changing lanes, but I'm like, no way, he's coming too fast. So I started to gently pull back over. He flies by me. It was like one of the newer Barracudas. He flies right by me, and as he's flying by, he lays on his freaking horn and starts flipping me off, and I'm like, dude, you've either already had too much caffeine at 10 o'clock o'clock in the morning, or not enough caffeine, or I don't know. And he zipped right back into traffic in front of me, and I thought, well, bless your little heart. If you know anything about Southern culture, you know that what that means. I was like, well, bless your little heart. And I thought, you have a good day. And then I sat there and I thought about it. I said, or better yet, have the kind of day you deserve. How about that? How about you have the kind of day you deserve? Because really, stop and think about it. Those of us who are empathic, kind people, we're forever telling people, have a great day, have a wonderful day, I hope you have an awesome day. But sometimes I don't think it ever occurs to us, maybe that's not the kind of day they want to have. Maybe they don't want to have a good day or an awesome day or a wonderful day. You know how sometimes you get in a mood, you get in a place, and hearing things like that, it just pisses you off all the more, because you're like, no, I'm miserable, I deserve to be miserable, I have every right to be miserable, and you're not going to rob me of it by telling me to have a wonderful day. So maybe now I will start telling people to have the kind of day they desire, or have the kind of day they deserve. I think that's better. Anyway, if you saw the pictures that I posted last night, and sorry about not posting a video, I was so tired, and this shoulder is wreaking havoc. While I'm trying to drive during the day, I'm constantly going, the least little thing causes pain. And so I spend the whole day going, okay, how about this? Okay, how about this? Okay, how about this? Okay, constantly changing position, and then ow. Ooh, see, that feels good for a minute or two. I'll find a position, and I will relax into it, and I'm like, oh, that feels really good. That's 100% pain-free. And then, 10 minutes later, it's like, no, that's not doing it anymore for me either. So, but it is what it is, and every day it gets a little better and a little more manageable. So when I pulled into Love's last night, were you all surprised that I spent my first night with the new camper in a Love's? Freaking love those things. Oh, here comes one, but I don't need it. I don't need gas. I don't need to go to the bathroom. I don't need anything. Anyway, so I pulled into a Love's. I got off the road way early. I usually drive, when I'm trying to get from point A to point B until after dark. Not crazy late, but just, an hour or so after dark. And last night I just couldn't. I was so tired. My shoulder was killing me. It had been a long day. The dogs were, for the 3 hours that I was at the dealership, the dogs were in the car. It was hot and muggy. I was like, you know what, guys? As soon as we come to the next Love's, we're off. I don't care how early it is. So I asked the GPS how far ahead, and I think it was like 32 miles or something like that. I'm like, all right.
There's a stalled vehicle ahead.
Oops, a stalled vehicle. Well, I'll look out for that. And so when we got up to the exit for the truck stop, it was only like 7:36. I can't ever remember stopping that early for the night, but I did. And Camping World RV Sales. That sounds like a place I can have some fun. Ow. See, I can't even really turn my neck too far, because then that just pulled on the muscles across my shoulders and my pecs. But anyway, you guys don't want to hear about that. In reality, there's a strong possibility you don't hear about any of this shit. But that's okay. I think you do. Anyway, so I pulled in. It was about, like I said, about 7:36. And even Bella was confused, because she has traveled so much. She's literally traveled, the majority of her life. So she's really accustomed to it. And instance, when we're on the highway and I put the blinker on, she sits up in her seat because she knows that a blinker means we're getting off the highway, and if we're getting off the highway, what are we doing? So, she had already gone through that routine. I put the blinker on to get off the highway. She sits up, she starts looking around, and I swear to God, she saw the great big huge love sign with the big heart, and she was like, oh goody, loves, because to her that means dog park. And so we got off, and we found a place to park, which was an adventure in itself, because I'm just a little bit anal, just a tiny bit, just a little bitty bit. So I pulled in. Love's has special parking places for RVs, clearly marked RV, and so what it is it's 2 spaces. So whether you're a motorhome or whether you have a tow behind, like I do, there's a space for your tow vehicle and a space for your rig. So I pulled up, and when I got my truck, square, nice and lined up between the lines, I looked in the rear view, and the trailer was cockeyed, and I was like, well, that'll never do. And I certainly was not ready to try backing up yet. That's going to take some practice. So I pulled around, and tried again, and this time I was paying so much attention to watching my mirrors to make sure that the trailer was nice and straight between the guidelines. I was like all proud of myself looking in the mirror. I'm like, there, perfect. Until I looked at the tow vehicle, and I was like, not perfect. One more time, and there's a guy gassing up his pickup truck, and he's just standing there smiling. And at first I was like, the fuck are you laughing at? Like, just put your gas in and mind your own damn business. You worry about yourself. You just worry about yourself. But then I thought, you know what? I would probably be staring too. So I pulled in the third time. You know what they say, third time's the charm. Tow vehicle was almost 100% straight. The camper was right where it belonged, and I was like, there you go, we're gonna call that done. I made the decision not to unhook, because why? I was just staying a night. So the dogs hadn't eaten since early that morning. They were hungry. Got them out, took them for a walk, got them fed, and then I opened the door to the RV for the first time, and of course they'd never seen it before, and they were hesitant to go up the stairs, like, what are you just going in somebody else's house? Like, what the heck, Mom? And I was like, get up there. Finally, Bella went up the stairs, and then Casper, a lot more hesitantly. Bella did the same thing that she does what is going on with my hair this morning? I have no freaking idea. She, jaunts up those steps and walks into the RV and just, does a quick once over, looks at everything, and was like, okay, this is what we're doing? Alrighty then. Next thing I know, she's up on the bed. I'm like, could you wait until I get the factory plastic off the mattress and make the bed, please? So she got her down off the bed. Anyway, I made the bed, put a few of my own little touches in, put the slide out to give us a little bit more room, and then took all those pictures that I posted in the Wild at Heart group on Facebook. Ooh, truck in front of me, truck beside me, and truck behind me. Okay. So that's taking a little getting used to, by the way. The way a semi feels as it passes the trailer and, applies that little bit of a push to it. I'm not concerned about it. It's just a learning curve. It's just, okay, that's what that feels like. That's what that feels like. I have a kick-ass, and I mean kick-ass, sway bar system that I had installed, because after I talked to a few other people, I was like, as far as RV trailers go, it's relatively short. It's only 22 and a half feet. It's extremely lightweight. How worried should I be about sway? And so I talked to a bunch of people out at camp where I camp seasonally. Every single one of them said the same thing. I would never tow anything anymore without sway control, because, and then they shared some of their experiences with me, and some of them were pretty horrific stories, and I was like, all right, that's all the convincing I need. Thank you very much. So I had it installed at the dealership, and it is rugged as all get out. I'm a little concerned about my being able to remember all the steps and then properly disassemble it when we get home. But anyway, again, I have more rabbit holes than a English meadow, I swear. It's been a good day. When I got up this morning, it was cloudy and overcast. Once I got everything settled in, made myself a little bit of supper at the factory, they fill the gray water tank with water. Now, your gray water is your shower water and your dishwater. So anything that goes down the kitchen sink is drain water, and anything that goes down the bathroom sink or the shower is considered gray water. Not technically dirty, not biohazardous. It's just, water that's been tainted by human use. So they fill that tank, and then they also fill the black water tank. Now, your black water tank, for those of you who don't know, is your sewer tank. That is the one that is connected to your toilet. And so, yes, that is a biohazard and has to be handled properly and appropriately, and blah, blah, blah. They fill both of those tanks with fresh water, and they put a little bit of water, about a third, in the freshwater tank. Now, your freshwater tank is what feeds everything, flushes your toilet, gives you water to your sinks, blah, blah, blah. So they fill the black water and the gray water tank just to test out all the systems, make sure there's no leaks or anything like that. So before I left the factory, he was like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and empty all your tanks. And I said, can you leave the water in the freshwater tank in there, please? So I have a little bit for hand washing and flushing the toilet and stuff. And he was like, yeah, sure. No, that's not a problem. There's probably about, 10, 12 gallons in there. I'm like, perfect. So we did that. So it was so nice last night not to have to, get up in the middle of the night and trudge into the truck stop to go to the bathroom. Excuse me. Or get up this morning and take up a sink in the ladies' room, taking care of my teeth. Excuse me. Dry cough. Yes. Now I forgot where I was. Anyway, it was just really nice to have those just couple little amenities right there. There's dry tickle in my throat. Anyways, finally got settled down, got myself something to eat, put Casper in his bed. Bella was already up on the bed, sound asleep. She just made herself right at home after I got the bed made. And I crawled into bed, and I left, all of the windows open at least a little bit, because it was pretty muggy last night. I thought, I'm probably never going to get any sleep. Bullshit. I was so tired. I crawled into bed and covered up, and I don't think it took very long to fall asleep at all. Anyways, I woke up this morning. Dogs are all excited, a little bit disoriented at the beginning, like, oh, right, I forgot we're here. We did our morning thing together. I got them fed, and then I started about, taking care of myself. And again, it was nice to have the bathroom and not to have to go into the restroom to take care of my personal hygiene things. And so I'm in the bathroom washing my face, and all of a sudden the whole camper, we're a little bit of a reverberation, and I heard a bang, and I'm like, what the actual fuck? I walked down the hallway, went out the door, and I looked, on my side. Of course, there's nothing there. I walk around the back, and like the next thing up to me was a gas pump, and I was about 18 feet from the gas pump. Well, for whatever reason, this beaten up old pickup truck had pulled in to that spot, not getting gas, but like close to my rig. And I was like, what the hell happened? So I walked down the length of the trailer, and I saw the tiniest smudge of paint on the brand new fender of the trailer. And without even thinking, I spun around and I looked at the guy in the passenger seat, and I said, did you just hit my trailer with your door? And he was like, yeah. And I went, roll the window down. So he rolls the window down. I said, did you bang that when you opened your door? He's like, yeah, I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay, I just, no real harm done. I just couldn't figure out what the heck it was because it shook the whole trailer. He goes, yeah, I'm really sorry. And then he did it. He said, yeah, tell the old man I'm sorry too. Really? I was like, that won't be necessary. There is no old man. So I accept your apology. And he was like, oh, well, I just assumed. And I said, most people do. Anyway, everything was fine. And the other thing that I wanted to share with you, I met this guy. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm well past the point of having any attraction to men, especially men his age. I mean, I think my oldest son was older than he was, but he was, when I pulled over to gas up before we get on the road, he was on the opposite side of the pump from me, and we both reached for the windshield washer thing at the same time, and he was like, no, go ahead, you go first. And I was like, no, that's all right. I'll go in and prepay for my gas before. He was like, all right, well, much appreciated. The voice on this guy was like, liquid velvet. He was this gorgeous, tall, very muscular, beautiful black man with this voice, right? It was the voice. So anyway, I'm paying for my gas and picking up a couple of things, refilling my coffee, and he walks in behind me, and I'm headed for the register, and he's headed for the register, and he was closer than I was, so I stepped back. He said, oh, no, I insist. And I was like, thank you. So I paid for my stuff, and then I heard him having a friendly conversation with the cashier. So now I've got to I'm very picky when I drive. Everything has to be within easy hands reach. So I'm putting everything where it belongs, putting my phone up in its holder, blah, blah, blah. And he walks back out, and I thought to myself when I walked out of there, I'm like, damn. That dude can just sit on a chair in my room or sit at the foot of my bed and just read me stories till I fall asleep. I mean, his voice was just, Anyway, he walks out and he was like, you have a good day. And I was like, I just have to tell you, you have the most amazing voice. And he was like, oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I kind of get that a lot. And I said, you should be in radio or, like one of those late night, like mellow, He goes, yeah, musically, that's totally not my jam. But again, friends say that all time, I was like, well, it was really nice meeting you. And he was like, yeah, same here. And we went our separate ways. And that's what I love about being on the road. The people that you meet all over the place, just ordinary, everyday people doing their ordinary, everyday things. Just being, you know, for the most part, awesome human beings. I think I shared in another video earlier, or in the past, that when you spend enough time on the road or traveling and don't listen to the radio and don't listen to the TV and don't freaking doom scroll on Facebook and Instagram and all that shit, and you just meet real, honest to goodness human beings, people, it really goes a long way in tearing down that us and them philosophy that the media has tried so hard to portray. I meet people from all walks of life, all over the country, and you know what? They're not so different from me. If we were to have grab a cup of coffee together and for whatever reason find it necessary to delve into spirituality, politics, or the State of the Union, then that might be a different story. But when you're just meeting them and just having that brief human contact, I am finding the more I travel and the more people I meet, we have a whole lot more in common than we do that separates us. And I love that. And that's one of the things that I love so much about being on the road and about traveling, is having the opportunity to take a step back from all the bullshit and just accept people at face value and realize they're not so different. They're not so different. We may view politics and other things and other ideologies from, complete opposite ends of the spectrum. But when it comes right down to it, you're a lot more like me than unlike me. You're trying to be happy, you're working to support your family, you have a family, you love them, they love you. Anyway, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. You get the point. Once we separate ourselves from the lies and the division that mainstream media is trying so hard to keep in place, the world becomes a lot happier place. Just saying. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. It's a little bit windy here, and so now I'm feeling like, what that feels like to, have here comes a truck on one side and wind on the other side, so that's interesting. Anyway, I'm going to pay attention to my driving, and coming up on Cleveland, Ohio in about 60 miles. So the skies have cleared up. Beautiful day for travel again. Anyway, I have to find a comfy position for this arm. Thank you guys for following along. Thank you for being supportive. This video will also be on my YouTube channel, and I encourage you to share the channel, like the videos that you like, and by all means subscribe so that you don't miss anything, because come this winter there's going to be adventures every day. So I will talk to you again real soon. Thanks for riding along, and have the kind of day you desire.